Straps. Wow.
Um, I wish I knew. I wish I knew how closed we are as a country, like as a country, and then as an urban community in general, because our country is so big headed, and we kind of think like we're up here, and we're kind of not, like we're like right down there, but we promote our country, and as Americans we see our country as a certain way, and it's not even close.
Right.
It's a speck compared to the rest of the world. And on the urban side, it's even smaller. It's 1,000, maybe 100,000 times smaller. Like we think these material things define us, and we think followers define us, and we think looking a certain way defines us, and it's not the case. And it's like if you stay open and really, it goes back to seeking knowledge. If you go back to opening your eyes and looking for some information and seeing what wealth is compared to being rich, and see what success is compared to what it looks like on social media, you're going to see some things, and it's not going to be what you think it is. So probably that.
Man, this is a seasoned DJ out of Nevada, but she's from Detroit, though, right around the corner off Telegraph, y'all. We got to get her back. When you come to Detroit, you got to come over. We're going to cook you some gumbo. We're going to make sure that you are home, man, because we are super proud of you. You don't understand how much the D is proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You just, and you said you 30, respectfully, like that.
30.
Not like you doing it, man. You definitely doing it.
I'm trying.
So let's talk about music, man. I love music. I don't know if you could tell. I love music. I said I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I grew up watching Mardi Gras, the bands. I couldn't sing, right, but I could dance. So I had rhythm, right. I always tell my, whenever be like, "Can you dance?" I'm like, "I'm from New Orleans." What you talking about? Like that is like something that I just cherish, right? Could you maybe talk about like some of your like music influencers? Like, is there like a specific DJ that you look up to, or DJs that you look up to, and what was their impact? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so what type of music you listen to, and then what is the impact that DJs make on hip hop culture, and how important is that? So, what's the music you listen to, and what's the impact that DJs make, or the impact that you make on hip hop culture?
The music I listen to is not popular stuff. Like, well, it is a little bit popular because I always tried to push independent music. So I listen to a lot of independent artists, and then on a mainstream side, like I listen to a lot of R&B. Honestly, like I was on a whole like new neo soul kick for like 7 years. So like I would play all the popular music, and then when I got home, I would listen to like Chrisette Michele and John Legend and Ryan Leslie like on repeat. Like, so I'm just a chill soul, honestly. I just love people. So it's like if I know these songs is gonna get you hype, or these songs will make you feel a certain type of way, I'm gonna play those songs for you. But I listen to complete opposite for the most part. DJs I looked up to, there were a few. So locally I looked up to Franzen, and people in Las Vegas know who DJ Franzen is. DJ Franzen was able to really get around a lot of the politics, and he not only was he has the longevity, like he's been on the scene for like 20 plus years, but he's still relevant. And I think people really they overlook that quality in him. Like they see his name and they give him the respect that he so rightly deserves, but they kind of forget that he's still real relevant. He's been doing this for 20 years. Like he's the resident DJ for the biggest hip hop club out here. Has his own day, and he went around the politics that are in place out here. So he's definitely somebody that I look up to. Also locally is DJ Thump, and DJ Thump was a mentor that I had as a teenager when I had the internship at 88.1. He was the one that left his DJ equipment at the station for me to practice on after the internship was over, and that was how I got to really figure out my skill set. Another mentor, DJ Hype, out here in Las Vegas. He was a likable person out here. Everybody loves him. Everybody was booking him from his whole career, and it was like just learning that likability quality from another DJ that was successful. So I got that from him. Female DJ Dime Piece. I saw her work her brand from the bottom up, and she didn't sell herself out. Like, I think female DJs, especially now, are trying to, well, some of them don't care. So some female DJs are trying to keep the respect that they have and still allow themselves to be women and allow themselves to be attractive women. And I saw her never lose herself. Like she balanced that out real well. She was a dope DJ. She was a respected DJ, and she was sexy when she felt like it. She didn't have her career defined by how she looked. And I was like, I want to do that, because I'm seeing some of these other girls and it's not there. She was balanced, and that's what I like. Another DJ skill set wise is DJ Kid Capri, and that's just the element of the OG culture. Like, you know, like you gotta know your history. You have to. And I actually got to DJ for Kid Capri. I got to open up for him. Was that 2014 out here in Las Vegas? So it was. I still can't believe that happened.
Before you finish, the people who don't know, and if you don't know, then something's wrong. But Kid Capri is the DJ who was on Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. He was saying all those, "Now it's ready." He was the one that was screaming pretty much. You know his voice. Continue, please.
And last one is DJ Jazzy Jeff, and that's just the ultimate skill set. Like, he flawlessly kills every set he does. Like, really? Every single, like, I love Jazzy Jeff. Got to meet him out here in Las Vegas too, but I love Jazzy Jeff.
Man, Lord, respect to the culture, man. Respect to the culture. And you are definitely someone, like, I could definitely see you're already famous, so you're gonna be blessed, man. I'm just super proud of you. I just love everything that you're doing. You are a pioneer, an example of what, you know, we want our scholars to handle themselves, because you don't seem like you just seem so humble, but you seem very assertive, you know, like you're like, you know, I'm gonna get the information no matter what. I'm gonna grind this out no matter what. I'm gonna figure it out no matter what. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to you. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it for my daughter. I'm gonna get it for my family. I'm gonna get it for my culture. I love it.
That's in Detroit, and I think if anybody from Detroit is listening or watching, they gotta remember that that's there, and that's something very specific about our city. Very specific. We gonna hustle and we gonna get some stuff done, but we gotta remember that that's there.
Yo, there's so many people in Detroit on Clubhouse. It's like people with businesses promoting this. And I'm like, yo, y'all live right around the corner from me, man. Dang. Like, it's like people from, I love it, man. I love it. And that's the gift and the curse of this entire pandemic. It's really pushed people to be entrepreneurs, you know, because if not, what you gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I think the key is making sure, like, if something changes, your why stays intact, right? You're saying, like, when the music industry changes, I'm sure a lot of people who are just doing music just for the clout, just for the fame, just for the, you know, the materialism, versus doing it for the art, doing it from the heart, doing it for the people. Those are the people that probably are still doing what you're doing. Yeah, man. Raise the roof for yourself. Go ahead, raise the roof for yourself. So
I'm holding the phone, I'm gonna do one.
right, the phone moving up and down. So let's talk about, like, when you're prepping It's not COVID no more, right? And you have, so I'm assuming, so you DJ all type of clubs, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was this club in DC, Washington DC. So I grew up in New Orleans, but then I moved to the DMV area, so DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And there was this club in DC called Ultra Bar. And Ultra Bar was like 6 stories, and each level was this like own, you know, different type of culture, different type of music, different type of, you know, genre, right? But then I went to this one club in Chicago. I don't remember the name of the club, but it was everybody in there, all cultures, all races. Everybody was just, you know, lit, trying to have fun, right? So how do you know when to pick the right song when it's so many? Like, I guess, like, how do you know when to pick the right song? Because, like, real talk though, I love DJing. I'm not a DJ. I've never DJed.
I think you froze. You froze on me. Are you there? It's not my signal. My signal's good. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And it goes back to what you said about DJing for people, right? So I said, like, I've never DJed before, but if I have people in my house, I'm gonna take control of the music because I just love establishing the ambiance. I love people, you know, getting a vibe, right? So talk about it from an expert point of view. How do you go about picking your DJ set? Do you practice the day before? Do you know the people that you're about to work with, or is it all based off of spirit and soul?
It's spirit. For me, it's spirit and soul, and I know that that's not the case with every DJ. Like, I know some DJs that would practice and put a set together, you know, the day before, a few hours before. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't exactly do that. Like, I'll try to make sure I have certain songs, but I don't put a whole set together, and I purposely do that. I don't ever want to play the same set twice, and I don't play the same set twice. You'll never hear the exact same lineup of songs from me. Even on the radio, you'll never hear the same lineup of songs from me. And it's from reading people. You want to create an experience that's specific to them being there and to you being there for them. And you can't really, well, I can't really put that together without being in front of y'all. So
Wow.
I read people. I read people. I try to put a vibe together, and to kind of break down you did 2 different examples. Like you said, there was a club that had a different like genre on each floor, or a different vibe on each floor. And then there was a room that had everybody together. And honestly, either way is going to create an experience. And it's just it's the DJ's job to figure out which experience they want to put together. And that goes back to the people. Like, if you're in front of a whole group of people that want to hear hip hop, or a whole group of people that want to hear Afrobeat, you got to be able to look at them and figure that out. You can't, go person to person like, oh, do you like this song? Do you like this song? Like, and that takes experience to see a crowd of people and figure out what to play, whether they're extremely diverse or the same, but what to play to make sure that everybody there has a good time. So
that's hard.
It is. It's a lot more. It's a lot harder than people think. It's a lot harder. It looks easy and it looks fun. It is fun. When you get it right, it's fun. Like, when you see, people high-fiving each other and standing on the tables and twerking a little bit. Like, when you see people having a good time, you're gonna feel good about it. But it is work.
And you be turned, huh?
Oh yeah.
You be not like turned like that, but you be like enjoying it. You love it, like you
turned too. I be having a good time.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how you get it. So, man, did you see the movie Soul?
Ooh, I did. Okay, I saw it like 3 times.
Good. Okay, so now let's talk about like that concept of like flow, right? Of being in like your. Can you please just talk more about that? So you said it. I go in there just raw. I go in there just off the cuff, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, talk more about that. Like, just talk about maybe an experience that you had where you had to do that and it prevailed, and maybe talk about experience you had and you had to do that and it didn't prevail. I know as a teacher, I have to sometimes flow sometimes because my kids are not always the same. I might have the same lesson. The way I do that lesson, it has to be different, right? So I have to pay attention to the cues in the classroom. Okay, this kid got his head down. This kid got his head down. All these kids they probably not tripping right. They probably, excuse me, these kids, excuse me, a certain group of kids may be doing this. I have to adjust accordingly. So talk more about like that experience of flow and just like.
Okay, well, I just had an event on Tuesday, this past Tuesday.
Okay.
And it was a cultural event out here in Las Vegas. It's called Tuesday Blend. So this is a extreme for the culture type of thing. There are b-boys there are singers or rappers there are DJs there, and there's normally art. There actually wasn't any art there this time around, but normally there are painters there too. It's extremely for creatives. I went to DJ my set. It's the first set of the year, and I have my laptop and I have my external hard drive. And for some reason, my laptop would not connect to the turntables that were there. And so me and the other DJ were like uninstalling, reinstalling, trying to figure out what it is. And it's an operating system thing. So like that's a part of the technical side of DJing that's annoying because technology changes all the time.
Yeah.
But I had my external hard drive as a backup. So all of my music was on my external hard drive. So, and this is a part of community, unity, and networking. The other DJ let me use his laptop to plug in my external hard drive. So I still had access to my music and I was still able to do my set. Okay. However, so virtually on the program that we use, is called Serato, our music is separated by crate. So if you want to do a hip hop crate, a Afrobeat crate, or if you just want a crate just for your music for that day, it's separated. You can separate it that way so you can get to your music faster. So I had access to all of my music, but my crates weren't there.
Oh.
So I DJed maybe an hour and a half off of vibes. I looked around. I saw b-boys there. I said, oh, we gotta play this song. We gotta play this song. And then I bounced off of that. There's a bar there. Oh, they need to drink. We gotta play this song. We gotta play this song. Oh, it's a whole bunch of pretty girls came here. They probably want to hear this song, this song, and this song. And that's where you gotta remember your BPMs, which is your beats per minute. Because if you're a DJ, you don't just want to slam songs in if the BPMs don't match. And it's reading people. You have to look at people and figure out what they want to listen to, figure out what the vibe is. And me just personally knowing how Tuesday Blend is, I already, whether I had access to my songs or not, I knew what type of emotion I wanted to relay, and that helped me remember the songs I wanted to play. So
all off feeling. So what's a good BPM?
That's changed. So when you were talking about the record exec saying that, you know, these songs need to be within this range,
yeah,
that changed over the last few years. So, you know, typically a party vibe is like 90 to 106-ish. But that changed. A lot of popular songs now are between like 60 and 75. Like it changed, and it depends on where you're at, what type of club or what type of event it is, and the type of vibe you're trying to get through, because a lot of R&B songs are like 80 to 95. So it depends. And then there are songs that are completely just left field. There's like a random 120 somewhere and a random, you know, like they're kind of all over the place. So there is no good BPM anymore. It depends.
Yeah, so to tell the story, I was playing some of my people's music that I try to manage, and I stood in that room literally for 12 hours. I played the first song. He said it was all right. He said, but it ain't a hit. I got so mad. I'm calling up all the artists I know. I'll be like, yo, I need your best song. I need it now. And they sending me these songs and I'm listening to them. I'm like, yo, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. And then they send me the one. I'm listening to it. I'm like, this is probably not it. But I'm like praying that it gets through. I get up there the second time with the music execs and he just shut it down. And then he goes to this whole speech after my song. He goes to this whole speech. This is why y'all got to come prepared. Don't be coming up here. I'm rich. I could be doing this and that. I'm like, I was so mad. I just left. That's amazing. So like, what's a song that you can name that has like a certain BPM, and what's another song that you can think of?
I mean, off top, and this is just popular music. No Guidance, Chris Brown and Drake is a 93 BPM. So your 90s are like some of your two-stepping songs, which is why a lot of the older crowds start two-stepping and No Guidance. We're like, wait, is this a two-step? But it fit in a BPM where people can two-step to it. Like your Just In Case by Jaheim, just as a throwback, that's I think 101. It's still in the same range. So for example, if I was to speed up No Guidance and slow down Just In Case by Jaheim, it would create a flow of songs where people are two-stepping for 6 minutes, if not longer. But it's just to show like how certain BPMs are certain vibes. And that's why it really depends where you're playing it and what you're trying to do. Like radio's a little bit tricky. And especially now as like other things are influencing the radio hits, it's very tricky now. But for a long time, popular songs were between like 90 and 100 for a very long time. A lot of your club songs, Get Low, I think that's 100 by Lil Jon. Bay, OT Genesis, I think that's 100. What else? I can't even think of another one right now. But it's still valid. Like a lot of really good, really popular songs are between 90 and 100. But that's not the only thing now. Like The Baby changed a whole lot of stuff. Megan Thee Stallion changed a whole lot of stuff. Moneybagg Yo, like those are songs in the 60s and 70s, BPM wise. So it really just depends.
How did they change it? I would think it would be faster because The Baby raps fast. Maybe my physics is off.
He has some songs in the 90s, but he has a lot of songs between 60 and 75. So was it Suge? Suge is 73.
Really? What about Rockstar?
I think that's 88. I'm not sure because I haven't played that song in a very long time. So I don't know. But Suge is a popular song that I played a lot. It's 73.
Do you ever play a lot of NBA Youngboy? What's his beat?
He's kind of all over the place. Like he's
all over the place.
He got some 60s and he got some that's between 60 and 75, and then he got a couple. He don't have a lot. He don't have a lot of songs between 90 and 100, but a lot of his songs are between 60 and 75, and then some beats double. So like for example, a 60 BPM and a 120 BPM, although it's not exactly the same, it can be blended together. Yeah. It's like a little bit off, and like OG DJs will say a million times it's not the same because it's really not, but beats can double. So a 68 BPM and a 136 BPM, is that right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They can be blended together. So yeah. I think NBA Youngboy has like, he got songs kind of all over, but yeah.
So you're like a musician, you're a DJ, you're like a low-key engineer because you got to deal with all this technology and put it together and make sure it works. You're like a mathematician because you're doing math still. Like
there's math in DJing. I'll be telling people that and they be like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, there's math in DJing. You gotta know some numbers." you gotta know your beats. When you go to loop songs, you gotta know a fourth of a beat, what an eighth of a beat is.
Yeah.
You gotta know on cables, you gotta know what a 1/4-inch cable is. Like, ooh boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
And I'm gonna ask this one fan question: why are Drake songs so popular? Like, what is about
It's
his
Drake. We will never understand what Drake has, like this superior team that just never loses ever. Like, I don't. And as a kickback, DJ Franzen out here in Las Vegas is very good friends with Drake. Like, Drake has a team, and his team is a team that always wins. Like, he's always had writers in his back pocket.
Right.
He's always had DJs in his back pocket. Like, he had the right influencers from the jump, which was like Lil Wayne and like somebody that really gave him the business, not necessarily because Lil Wayne's business wasn't perfect either, but gave him the start that he needed, and then he was able to get to the resources that he needed to where he has the perfect team. Like, he's always just had a good team. So I don't know.
I'm gonna ask this one question about Drake, and then I'm gonna stop being a fan. I read this article about this conversation he had with his dad, and his dad said that, you know, if you want to be a star, you got to speak to the women. He said you got to do R&B and rap. That's what he said. He said, because if you do that, then you're going to always win. So what's your interpretation of that?
He's absolutely right, because for decades, if not longer, the majority of the people that buy records, go to concerts, buy merch, are women. Men don't buy as much, not even close. Men don't, well, not even just like listen to the radio, but like streaming wise, like women subscribe and women buy stuff and women go to concerts more. Like, not to you know, not to throw salt on men at all, but it's always been like that. Yeah. Michael Jackson, like, you know, like Prince, like, it wasn't men in front crying, passing out, like, it was girls. Like, it's always been like that. And it's really just studying history. Like, if you study music history, you're gonna see that. If you study the greats, any genre, you're gonna see that they had a lot of women supporters. So Drake's just following a blueprint that was already there.
Yeah, because his dad used to write for Marvin Gaye, I believe, or he was I think, something like that. But
I never knew that.
The music too. How you feeling? This is great. This is really good.
I feel good.
You got a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
All right, perfect, cool. Yeah, this is great. We went to talking about all this amazing accomplishments, to your passion, to talking about philosophical stuff like just caring about people, to mathematics and BPMs, and now we're talking about Drake. So now, last two questions. So my first question I want to talk about is, what is the responsibility that you have as a DJ? You know, you are quote unquote a gatekeeper. I know, me trying to be in the music industry at one point in my life, I was always told you got to give it to the DJ. Get it to the DJ, put it in the playlist, right? Because we got playlists that are like streaming playlists, but then you got DJ and playlists. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I'm assuming each one of those playlists gives you clout. So, you know, you have a lot of power on who gets in the music industry. You have a lot of power who records get heard, right? And you also have a lot of power in what type of music is going out, right? Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with, I don't know if you know MC Nice, but he is a Grammy nominated gospel rapper. Okay. He had credits under like Tupac and stuff. And he was talking about how being a gospel rapper isn't being a gospel rapper. Like, it's not like the label. He's just speaking from the heart. Because he gave a good example. He was like Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. A lot of that could come off as like spiritual because it's how he's expressing himself and the way he's repenting, and it's a lot of motifs. He said like that is an example of someone who is using his music responsibly because he's doing it in a way that's vulnerable and he's allowing people to be themselves, versus other types of music that can do the contrary. So talk about just the responsibility of being a DJ and what is that power like?
we we are supposed to push the culture forward. So I just try to keep that in mind. We're going forward. I try to stay connected once again to why I started, which was to positively influence people and to get new music out the right way. When you break down how that happens, whether it's radio or nightlife or whatever, that's when you have to learn a business. And it's like, okay, ultimately I had to not only be a good DJ, I had to be a popular DJ so that people would listen to me. So, and that way I could be an influencer. Like, I think a lot of DJs, they kind of not get upset, but kind of just lose direction when they realize that it's not just about skill set. It's not just about skill set. You could be the dopest DJ ever, but if nobody likes you, they're not going to book you. And if nobody books you, you have no influence. So social media made it a lot easier for DJs to get influence, to be in a position of influence, but it still comes down to likability. And it's like, if you don't like people, people might not like you back. Like it's like it goes back to being humble. Like, you gotta be humble. You gotta like people to understand them, to communicate to them, to where they're actually gonna listen to you. And I just try to always remember that. Like, and then when I finally got, I'm still not where I want to be, but when I finally got to see that people are paying attention to what I do, I changed a lot of things. Like, I ate different. I worked out more. I posted more stuff on my daughter. I changed my hair. I wasn't pro-Black, but I was more publicly confident about being Black, because I saw that all of these things were missing in our society. So it was like, oh, okay, well, all these people are hitting me up to go party. But people are paying attention to what I do too. People are paying attention to my lifestyle. So now, not only do I need to be a better person, but I need to show that to people. And that's what I started doing. Like, I wanted people to be happy and be satisfied with being themselves, because social media has a lot of people pushing to be something that they're not, because it looks cool, or because that's what's desirable, or that's whatever. But we need more people pushing people to be themselves, pushing the people to be parents, pushing themselves to eat right and to do more stuff in the community. So that's what I started doing, as like, I started doing it heavy, like heavy. I'm not just going to send you a club invite. I'm going to send you some recipes on some vegan stuff. And I'm gonna send you some stuff to do with your kids. And I'm gonna send you some hair, some natural hair natural hair tips or whatever. Like, people, I think some entertainers and some influencers, they kind of forget that we're supposed to do that too. Yeah. And I think a lot of people aren't in position to positively affect anybody. Like, the industry is very tricky, and some people just can't do certain things. They can't. But I can. So I was like, well, shoot. All right, we're gonna get it popping.
Oh, there we go. So she got the veganism going on. She got the music going on. She got the cool little Prince chain going on.
Oh yeah, I love Prince.
You are definitely walking in. I feel like you're doing God's work, and I just want to say that you're definitely, everything you're saying is just, it's amazing. I try to, because one thing as teachers, we don't get paid enough, and we use that as an excuse to not do our jobs and good. And you're saying, like, there are people who probably get paid enough, but that's still not enough. Your skills is not enough. You have to have something deep. You have to have something that if you wasn't getting paid at all, you would still do it, right? That passion. Excellent. Absolutely. So before we go, what's one thing you want people to get from this interview?
One thing. I don't know. One thing.
So we talked about simplicity. You've been
We talked
giving
about
a
a
lot of
lot.
gems. You've been giving so many gems. So
We
like,
talked about a lot.
yeah.
I would disconnect from the social life and reconnect with the physical as safely as you can, because we're still in COVID. A lot of our conversations talked about loving people and knowing people and communicating with people. So that needs to come back heavy. And we need to disconnect a little bit more from social media, just for a little bit.
And that's the simplicity. This is the T Simple podcast. We focus on providing simple solutions in the classroom. I got Detroit's very own DJ Kelly J. DJ Kelly J, where can they find you and what's some things you got coming up?
So my name is DJ Kelly J on everything, like even on Clubhouse. It's the same thing on everything. I just dropped a lot of projects at the end of December. So I dropped a Class of 3000 mixtape, which is a tribute mixtape to Andre 3000. So if you love Andre 3000, you're gonna love this project. It's everything that he's ever been on.
Hey.
It's been doing really well. A lot of people appreciate it. And then I just did a compilation mixtape with Thank Taylor. So something I did a lot of last year was showcase female artists. So this mixtape with Thank Taylor has Thank Taylor on it and is featuring a lot of other upcoming female artists. I got a lot of projects coming out this month, but we're just gonna see what happens, because it's been a crazy month so far. Okay, something that is for sure happening locally. I'm a part of an event series called Trap and Cook. So we're gonna continue Trap and Cook.